Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Ross and Wizzy's Fan Fiction Power Hour. I'm your host, Ross Pitt, Shark Hunter. And this over here is Wizzy. Puff.
Make it double.
The Magic Dragon.
That's a Pokemon thing.
I know that's a Pokemon thing. You think I've lived in a cave?
Maybe not a cave. Maybe just under a rock.
Maybe in a cave. Maybe just in a rock.
It was like Patrick Star lives under a rock. It was supposed to be a compliment.
I took it as a compliment.
Oh, that's right. That's the thing you do when you receive a compliment.
Yeah. Go. Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. For this festive time of year, me and my friend are going to be reading Christmas fan fiction in the My Little Pony community. What a gift.
Hopefully this time you'll get to be Santa.
And it's the gift that keeps on giving. Wink. So, just read the first line of this. Oh man, this is gonna be something else.
Oh boy.
I will warn you guys. Perhaps this story, right, that we're about to read might get a bit risque for the holiday season. But, you know, I'm sure Jesus doesn't mind.
No, I hope not. You know, it's like, come on, it's the holidays. Maybe we can be a bit risque during the holidays.
Pretty sure it's usually the opposite, but you know what? Maybe we can be a bit risque during the holidays. I've never tried it myself.
Yeah, why don't we have like a sexy holiday yet, huh?
Oh,
an X-rated holiday.
That's just X-rated Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Or Valentine's Day, if you're in my it's gonna say household, but no. Not gonna say that.
Oh no.
Gross. If you're in my future household, before I have kids, probably.
If you're in my household from 2033 to 2039.
Anyways, what are we going to be reading today?
Oh, today we're going to be reading How the Half-Naked Santa Saved Christmas by Dub's Rewatcher. I wonder what they do, you know? Name is kind of mysterious.
Ooh, I rewatch dubs all the time. My dubs, my real-time fan dubs, on Caffeinated Pinkie's YouTube channel. Go check it out, guys.
Chapter 1. How the Half-Naked Santa Saved Christmas.
It's the same as the title. Oh my god.
Adagio fingered her wineglass.
Hot. So, Pinkamina, are you a virgin?
Oh, fabulous voice. Sunset choked on her pizza. Okay. Rarity's and Fluttershy's cheeks burst into flames. Pinkie Pie giggled. Yupperoni, why?
Oh, no reason.
Adagio said, adjusting her lingerie top. She smirked as the strap slid down her arms and inched a bit closer to Pinkie, who went stiff. Trailing a finger along Pinkie's thigh, she said,
So just a fun fact. The Dazzlings got trapped in the human world back before Starswirl the Bearded was stuck in purgatory.
Wait, what?
So that's just something fun to think about during this scene.
What happened?
The Dazzlings got stuck in the Equestria Girls universe before Starswirl the Bearded got stuck in purgatory. So they're like thousands of years old.
I thought the Dazzlings were from the human world.
Nope. They are sirens from Equestria.
Oh. So they were pretending to be teenage girls in a high school to, like, take over the world?
To eat.
What were they going to eat?
They feed off of negative energy.
Oh, gross.
They sing and that gets people really pissed off.
They sing really bad.
No, they actually sing amazingly. Well, when they have their magic.
How does that make people angry? Just magically?
It's magic.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess actually it's more hypnosis or mind control or something like that. I guess they just might like to see people who are angry. But like,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
You ever watch Danny Phantom?
Yep.
Remember Ember?
Yep.
Yeah. Classic.
You will remember her name.
Will remember my name.
Just thinking of ways I could make this slumber party a bit more interesting.
Adagio flinched away as Sunset spritzed her with a water bottle marked friendship spray.
Spray it, siren. Spritz.
Sunset scolded, continuing until Adagio scrambled back to her spot.
If I see even one more inch of skin, oh, you're losing your alcohol privileges for the week.
Jesus, this is like a teenager. What are they giving them at this school?
They're teenagers.
Yeah, you got a point.
Just because we're the most sheltered individuals of all time.
They're not supposed to have that. I didn't have that.
The world is going insane. Back in my day, nobody drank at that age.
Next, they're going to use the F word.
Perhaps they'll even do pot.
Maybe they'll even do pottery.
Oh,
that's what the cool kids call the marijuana. Adagio slumped into her beanbag and glowered.
Ugh, you worthless humans are no fun. Stop spraying me.
Rarity and Fluttershy chuckled, while Pinkie just relaxed and let a small smile cross her lips. Once 5 seconds had passed without Adagio swearing or trying to get someone naked, Sunset put the spray bottle down.
You know,
Sunset said, grabbing her pizza again.
If you want me to ditch the friendship spray, you could at least try to act like a good guy. But I am trying.
Adagio said, placing a hand over her heart and fluttering her eyelashes.
2 months ago I would have waited until you were all asleep, then snuck into the basement and started a gas leak. Now look at me. I've been here for 3 hours and I've only threatened to slit Fluttershy's throat once.
Your voice is
That
so
is
good for this.
So much better than I do with Wizzy. Good job.
Whoa. Yeah, it's true. Fluttershy hid behind her hair.
I, would kind of prefer that you maybe not threaten me at all.
Good for you, Fluttershy.
Adagio sipped her wine and nodded.
Keep chasing that dream.
That is like such a you response as well.
It is. Like, I say that whenever you say to not threaten you as well. Oh, man, good stuff, good stuff.
As the others all rolled their eyes and returned to chattering, Adagio leaned back and surveyed Pinkie's bedroom. It was horrendously girly. Massive pink hearts covered every surface. Entire tribes of stuffed animals sat perched on high shelves, and everything reeked of cake frosting. Then again, Pinkie Pie's entire life seemed to reek of cake frosting. That's her.
Mm-hmm.
It had been 2 months since the Battle of the Bands, and 1 month since the Rainbooms had found the Dazzling sleeping in an alley downtown, cold, wet, and hungry. The Dazzlings had been more than ready to prove their worth and demonstrate they were ready to be redeemed. Since then, though, things had fallen apart a bit. The Sirens were abrasive and rude. They had been arrested for petty theft on more than one occasion, and then, of course, there had been the sleepover incident, where Sonata and Adagio held down Applejack and Rainbow so Arya could strangle them both to death. Jesus.
Man. I'm glad that this one doesn't make doesn't make Sonata just the nice one. They're all fine with murdering them.
They should be in like those Hannibal Lecter suits at this slumber party.
Yeah.
But that was 3 weeks ago, and since then, a new rule had been established. 1 siren per sleepover. Tonight was Adagio's turn.
You know, they should just get adopted by Rainbow Dash. I think that she could sort these youngins out.
But after they were holding her down so they could strangle them, I don't know if she could handle all of them, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. They should fight to the death to see who gets to get adopted by Rainbow Dash.
It's just like the ending to Hunger Games. Spoiler for Hunger Games. Tonight was Adagio's turn, and aside from her refusal to wear any pajamas that were 90% see-through, things were going swimmingly. Applejack and Rainbow had both decided not to attend, however. They didn't specify why. I wonder.
Maybe they're sick.
Good for them. Adagio sighed and swirled her wine in its glass. After the incident, Sunset had made the 3 sirens pledge that by the time hearth-swarming rolled around, they would be completely rehabilitated. Well, hearth-swarming was now only a week away, but rehabilitation still seemed a long time coming.
I'm sorry, heart-swarming? It's the human world.
Oh, what do they do in the human world?
Christmas.
They do Christmas in the freaking Equestria Girls universe?
Yeah.
I thought Pinkie was Jewish.
Oh, she might be.
Imagine they have Pinkie's Hanukkah special, though. That could have worked out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like hearth-swarming, though, just because it's like non-denominational holiday.
Ugh. Wizzy's woke agenda.
I like people being included.
Boo! This just excludes everyone.
This just excludes anyone who's not an equestrian.
Pretty sure everybody's not equestrian.
Exactly.
Wow.
Adagio really was trying her best to be good, but it was hard. She couldn't make threats or set buildings on fire. Nothing. How could anyone live like that? How could she? What was Adagio's motivation? She looked up, only to find Pinkie Pie staring at her with those shining blue eyes. Oh yeah, she does have blue eyes. Huh.
Yep.
It's funny, because her name is Pinkie. I kind of just assumed that every part of her would be pink.
That's where you're wrong and racist.
Yep.
Fucking got Wizzy at his own game, am I right?
However melanin makes your hair pink, it makes your eyes blue.
Yep. Funny how that stuff works.
Yep.
They're also mutants.
Yeah, I mean, they're really weird proportions.
Yeah. Yeah.
The air left Adagio's lungs for a moment, but soon enough she shot back a grin.
What?
She asked.
Thinking about taking me up on my offer?
Not really.
Pinkie said, shaking her head.
Just thinking about how super happy I am to have you here. Making new friends is the best thing in the whole universe, right?
God, that is just basic Pinkie.
Ugh, love it.
Adagio shrugged.
I suppose not as fun as kicking puppies, though.
Fluttershy gasped again, and Adagio muttered.
Oh, calm yourself, Wallflower. I'm kidding, probably. Wait, Wallflower blushes here? But in Ching, we haven't read a Wallflower blush.
Wallflower blush. Does she get along well with Fluttershy?
I don't know.
They're both too introverted to ever interact.
Probably. I hope so.
Rarity said, raising a brow.
We have orders from Princess Twilight to reform you, but I'm not sure how she would feel about animal abusers. You know, considering her race and all.
Adagio simpered.
Is that a threat, darling?
Rarity turned up her nose and supped out of her tea.
A warning. No, wait. A warning.
Come on, girls. There's no arguing at sleepovers.
Pinkie said.
Absolutely.
Adagio slithered back over to Pinkie and wrapped an arm around her shoulders. She sighed, pressing her chest against Pinkie's side.
At least one of you knows how to appreciate the love of a beautiful woman.
Oh my goodness. I don't really like Adagio.
Why not?
She's a little bit self-centered.
Why?
I'm sorry. I have to say it.
You are insane.
Maybe just a little bit, but I'm getting that impression. For the first time since the sleepover started, Pinkie's smile disappeared. She muttered, squirming in her seat and running her eyes down Adagio's exposed skin. Cheeks red, she slipped out of Adagio's grasp and hurried to the doorway.
Sorry, bathroom.
Adagio watched her go, lips bending into a frown. Across the room, Sunset snickered.
Wow,
she said.
I don't think I've ever seen someone make Pinkie uncomfortable. She's not uncomfortable,
Adagio said, narrowing her eyes.
She just had to use the bathroom. You know, for a supposed friendship expert, you're quite bad at listening.
Oh, man.
Really, Sunset, let them be. Let her be?
Rarity tittered from behind her teacup.
Titter. It's not often that we get to see true love blossom before our eyes.
Adagio sneered.
Oh, please. Do you really think that I, Adagio, mistress of the melody, queen of the sirens, would ever fall in love with a mere human? Especially one as obnoxious as Pinkamena.
Rarity, Fluttershy, and Sunset all nodded.
It's quite cute.
Rarity added. Adagio glared for a second more before looking away.
I'm just playing with her. Teasing her, if you will. After all, it certainly gets a rise out of you lot. You humans are such plebes. Someone needs to teach you to lighten up, and it may as well be me. If you insist.
Rarity sang.
Personally, methinks the lady doth protest too much. Humph! You humans and your romance.
Adagio said with a shake of her head.
Are you only playing, Andrea Libman characters in this?
Narrator Pinkie and Fluttershy.
Yep, all Andrea Libman.
Everyone knows that Andrea Libman sounds awfully like this.
While she's narrating, yeah.
I'd love to hear that.
That'd sound pretty funny. Pathetic.
Pinkie Pie burst back into the room, carrying 2 forests worth of colored paper and stationery supplies.
Hey!
She yipped, throwing the piles of letters and envelopes onto the floor in front of her friends.
I was thinking about fun things we could do before bed, and guess what I thought of?
Fluttershy grabbed a sheet of paper and a pair of scissors, then snipped out a quick pattern.
Paper angels?
She asked, stretching out the paper. Adagio did the same, cutting the paper into the shape of playing cards. She dealt them out.
Strip poker. I just looked up and the cat is looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing, man? He's just like...
Cat just hears you say strip poker. Understands every word.
Yep.
Too bad the cat doesn't have any clothes. Can't participate.
Actually, he does.
Aww. Wearing a
I'm
little
kidding.
hat.
Don't dress your cat up. I guess you
You
probably
could put a
can
little
dress your
hat
cat
on
up
your
in
cat.
a few things. Hats are probably a bit difficult with a cat. Not because they would hate it, but because it would probably fuck with their whiskers.
True.
I don't know, maybe a little hat. That's probably fine.
There's like a little bowler hat right on top.
Like a little what's the thing that Jewish people wear?
No, yarmulke?
Yarmulke, that's it. Just to keep in the spirit. A little yarmulke.
Hanukkah cat.
Nope.
Pinkie said, sliding across the floor on her knees and pulling them both into a hug. She thrashed her head about, spraying dozens of pencils and crayons from her hair. As they tumbled to the floor, she tossed an envelope to each of her friends.
We're gonna write letters to Santa Hooves.
Every face went blank.
Wait, hold the phone. What the hell?
Huh.
Okay, I could accept they're celebrating Heartswarming. But Santa Hooves?
You got a good point. Maybe this is all. Maybe they're just learning of this from Twilight and the other realm because they're with the freaking Dazzlings.
Jeez Louise. Maybe this is Infinite Frontier, Pinkie.
What's
That's a joke that Wizzy wouldn't get.
Is this
Infinite
like another
Frontier
fanfic?
No, it's a the DC universe and how they keep rebooting the comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I think recently or something, all of the continuities basically just were canon again, and now Superman has all of the Superman traits and everyone else, I'm sure, or maybe not. Maybe it's just Superman. I only learned this from the recent Death Battle.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe this is all versions of Pinkie, just crammed into one. Which means we're dealing with one fucking Pinkie.
Every face went blank. Sunset blinked a few times before asking,
Santa?
I already wrote my letter, and I'm sure most of you have.
Pinkie passed Adagio a pencil.
But this is Adagio's first Heartswarming off the naughty list, and she needs to let Santa know what she wants.
Maybe they were just converted to equestrianism.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened when Twilight came into their world.
Adagio took the pencil and stared at it.
I don't follow.
Rarity, Sunset, and Fluttershy all exchanged glances.
Pinkie, darling.
Rarity said, wincing.
Are you quite serious about this? Yeah, like you're not joking.
Sunset asked.
Of course not. Santa's a busy man. He's got no time for jokes.
Pinkie said, her smile fading into a serious glower. Within a second, though, she had returned to her normal chipper demeanor.
Which is too bad. He's got such a funny laugh. Oh, of course.
Fluttershy said, flashing a too-wide grin.
It's just that,
Adagio examined her nails.
I was under the impression that Santa was a commercial entity designed to sell expensive toys to fat children.
As Adagio leaped across the floor to slap the spray bottle from Sunset's hands, Pinkie's face darkened.
Wait,
she said, furrowing her brows. She looked at her friends.
You guys do believe in Santa, right?
They exchanged another glance. Pinkie gasped.
Oh, no, 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 girls, this is bad. You have to believe in Santa. You have to, or else you won't get any presents.
Sing it, kid. I'm not sure that's how it works.
Actually, yeah, if according to Polar Express, you can believe in Santa or not, and the only difference is if a bell rings, you know?
Yeah. That's true. So that guy's insane, right? He's just insane in telling a story that didn't actually happen, but he thought it did. He's insane, right?
Wait, who did?
The guy telling the story.
Oh, like the full movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I've never been on a Polar Express train, but I mean, I've never been on the naughty list, so.
You know who has been on the Polar Express train?
Who?
No one. It doesn't exist.
It does!
It does not.
I believe in it. I can hear bells ring because I believe in it. That's the only reason.
Every time a bell rings, it proves Santa exists.
It's like, I don't believe in Santa, and why are you hearing a bell ringing, huh?
It's only sleigh bells, by the way, in case anyone thinks we actually think it's just bells ringing. Bells in general.
Sunset said. Rarity reached over and laid her hand on Pinkie's knee.
I'm sorry, dear. We thought you knew. I mean, most people stopped believing in him around the time they turned 10. So you're saying Pinkamina's as smart as a 10-year-old?
Adagio asked with a smirk. Evil! Pinkie's entire body drooped.
Adagio, stop it!
Sunset snapped. She turned to Pinkie.
Sorry, Pinks. Santa just isn't our thing.
Pinkie sighed, slouching in her seat.
It's okay, I guess.
Adagio snorted. With a defiant flip of her hair, she wrapped an arm around Pinkie's waist and pulled her close once again.
It's quite all right, Pinkamina. Unlike your friends here, I believe in Santa with all my heart.
But wait,
Fluttershy said, raising a hesitant finger.
aren't you the one who said...
I was merely repeating what I've heard from you humans.
Adagio said, spitting out the last word like mud.
If Pinkamina says this Santa character is real, then it must be true. And besides, I'm a sea creature who controls teenagers through pop music. You're a bunch of half-human, half-horse wizards. Who's to say there can't be a fat man in a sled speeding around the sky somewhere?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up, but I was like, they've gotta bring this up later on. So I don't need to bring it up.
They're not all technically half-horse, though, are they?
Not technically, but like they do turn into weird horse-human hybrids.
Oh, really?
Ish. They like get
Oh.
ears. Their hair gets longer.
Okay. And they start braying in the middle of singing.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
At once, Pinkie's hair grew 3 sizes. She cheered and smothered Adagio in a hug.
Aw?
Oh, thank goodness you believe, Dodgy. Don't know what I would do if you missed out on your first year on the nice list.
Adagio grinned and ran a hand down one of Pinkie's wide hips. Ooh.
Oh, my. Oh, it's no problem at all. I thought I broke that wretched bottle.
Drying the spray nozzle off on her shirt, Sunset offered Pinkie a smile.
If it makes you feel better, we can still write letters to Santa. It'll be fun, right?
She looked to Rarity and Fluttershy, who both murmured in agreement. Sunset stood and passed out sheets of paper, pens, and envelopes to the entire group. A comfortable silence overtook the room as they all set to work. Adagio chewed on the cap of her pen and stared at the blank sheet in front of her, scratching out a quick, "Dear Santa." She tried to think of what she wanted most for Christmas. Total enslavement of the human race? or a nice bottle of aged red wine. She decided on the latter. It was just as she wrote her demand, however, that she noticed something strange in the corner of her eye. Pinkie Pie frowning. Adagio turned to look at Pinkie, only to find the girl clutching a stuffed alligator to her chest and gazing out at her friends with wistful eyes.
Aww.
Does she have a stuffed version of Gummy?
Yep. It's very cute.
Every few moments, she would let out the smallest of sighs, barely audible over the constant scritch of pen against paper. Adagio jabbed Pinkie in the shoulder with her pen and asked,
"What's wrong with you? Why aren't you writing?"
I already wrote my letter, remember?
Pinkie said, managing a shaky smile. She curled into a ball, holding her legs against her chest.
So I'm just watching everyone write their fake letters to fake Santa.
Adagio raised a brow, shuffling closer to Pinkie. She asked,
"I thought you believed in the big man."
I do.
Pinkie said.
I totally believe in Santa. It's just, sometimes it's hard, you know? Everyone at school and all my sisters are always saying he's fake, and it makes me really sad. You're the first adult I've ever met who believes in him. I thought that maybe the girls would be different, but I guess not.
Pinkie buried her face in her knees.
Maybe they're all right. Maybe Santa isn't real.
Adagio froze for a moment. When she regained control of her body, she moved away from Pinkie and picked up her wine glass.
"Perhaps,"
she said. She downed the rest of her drink in one gulp, then
Gulp.
gritted her teeth.
"Perhaps."
Jingle, 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 jingle.
Yeah!
I remembered.
I was hoping you would.
A few hours later, Adagio stared up at the darkened ceiling, nestled in her sleeping bag. Her ears were filled with the soft sound of breathing and snoring, and Rarity moaning about greased-up men wearing bow ties.
Oh my.
Rarity had just finished her third full minute of describing the abs of some guy named Blue Blood in Adagio. Oh God. When Adagio buried her head under her pillow and turned over in her sleeping bag. She clenched her eyes shut and tried to let sleep take her. It refused. A warm buzz coursed through Adagio's brain, the result of drinking 5 straight glasses of red wine without eating any pizza. Oh, God. She's gonna kill herself. Not that Adagio regretted her decision. Pizza was greasy, fattening, and not at all fit for a siren of her stature.
Yeah, but the wine is totally fine.
Usually Adagio would be asleep by now, enjoying dreams of locking Celestia away in a cage and feeding her nothing but vegan tofu cake for the rest of her immortal life. Oh. But instead, Adagio lay wide awake, not a gram of fatigue in her bones. Cursing under her breath, she took the pillow off her head and opened her eyes. Her gaze fell immediately on the calendar that hung above Pinkie's bed. Pinkie Pie had marked off every day of the month with messy red glitter pens, moving closer and closer to that special holiday every human seemed to love. Hearths warming.
Every human does not seem to love hearths warming.
I wouldn't be as peeved off about this if it wasn't for the fact that it's called How the Half-Naked Santa Saved Christmas.
True.
I guess that is more marketable, though.
This is stuff that gets you in the flash tier.
Go listen to that 100th episode, everybody. It's good stuff.
Pinkie Pie had circled the day at least 12 times and written above it in big letters, "Santa comes." Adagio gripped her sleeping bag and tore her gaze away. Pinkie Pie's miserable face lingered in her thoughts, forcing a grimace. A dull pain ached in her stomach, some mix of nausea and warmth thrumming through her body with every memory of Pinkie's sighs. This wasn't a feeling Adagio had ever encountered before. She pushed it away, probably just some bad wine. She turned over again, this time to face Pinkie's bed. She tried to resist, but within seconds was staring up at Pinkie's face. Pinkie's breaths came slow and steady, and if Adagio strained her neck, she could almost smell the frosting that always seemed to coat Pinkie's soft skin.
Pinkie's gotta wear some kind of, cupcake perfume.
Yeah, that sounds about exactly like something that they would say.
Nice.
Adagio wished that humans weren't so pitifully weak. Why did Pinkie have to abandon her beliefs so easily? It didn't matter if she was completely wrong. A true leader never admitted defeat, even if everything they believed went against basic common sense. That was World Domination 101.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
Hell yeah.
Adagio scowled, but closed her eyes again. What would make Pinkie stronger? What would make her believe? An idea popped into Adagio's mind, and before she could even comprehend it, she snapped up in her sleeping bag. Thoughts sped past, new plans forming with every passing second. She knew in her heart of hearts that this was crazy, that this was stupid, pitiful. This was the alcohol speaking. No human was worth this sort of effort. She waited until Rarity let out a particularly loud moan and crept out of her bed, grabbed her clothes by the door, and left the room. The clock had...
Does she actually have a crush on Blue Blood?
We don't know much about human Rarity's sex life, but Pony Rarity did, and then stuff happened.
Oh, okay.
But this Rarity is supposed to be Infinite Frontier Rarity, so no, she shouldn't.
Jingle, 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 jingle.
Yeah.
The clock had just struck 12 when Adagio finally returned from the mall. A tremor ran through her body as she hopped the fence to Pinkie Pie's backyard. The cold midnight air bit at her skin like a starving wolf, threatening to eat her alive. Of course, hypothermia was a small price to pay if it meant looking as sexy as she did. Thank heavens she had left Pinkie's house in a rush. 5 more minutes and the mall would have closed, leaving her out of luck. Now, walking through the yard, she wore neither street clothes nor her lingerie. Instead, Adagio sported a replica Santa Hooves outfit, purchased on sale from a costume store.
Oh, yeah, I know what she's doing with that.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to do some kinky roleplay.
Woohoo!
Well, it wasn't exactly a Santa outfit, more like a Santa outfit. While Adagio had the right dangly hat and perfect bushy beard, she had taken some liberties with the rest of the costume. Her shirt was unbuttoned, almost the whole way down, barely concealing her breasts. As for her skirt, from most angles, it may as well have not existed. It covered her assets so poorly.
Oh my god.
I think you mean it covered her assets so poorly. You gotta trick 'em first.
Still, she looked damn good, and the sultry glances she had received from women on the...
Why is everyone a lesbian in this world?
Infinite
No, not
Frontier.
everyone, because Rarity, never mind. It's just funny how they seem to emphasize lesbian relationships more in fanfics like this. So unused to it from regular media.
Yeah, usually fanfics also emphasize the gay stuff. Well, the male on male stuff. MLM.
But there's just not enough men in this world.
Yep. Maybe that's the point.
And the sultry glances she had received from women on the way out of the mall were worth her fingers. and the sultry glances she had received from women on the way out of the mall were worth her fingers beginning to turn blue. Probably. Maybe. Shivering, Adagio scurried to the door of the basement of Pinkie's house. She turned the handle, but the door didn't budge. Jiggling, the lock didn't work either. Adagio stepped back, glanced around the yard a few times for another entrance, and when that yielded no results, took a deep breath and kicked the door in. The crack of splintering wood covered Adagio's shriek as a piercing pain exploded in her foot.
And she's like wearing very revealing clothes, so she probably has like terrible shoes on for kicking a door in.
Yep.
She stuffed a fist into her mouth to stem the rising tide of curses and slurs fighting to be let out. Adagio didn't know much about hearths warming, but was this what Pinkie Pie thought Santa did every year? Adagio hobbled through the basement and up the stairs to the house proper. On her way, she passed Marble Pie's indoor Zen garden.
That sounds so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Pie family's prize-winning feldspar collection and a massive dog cage marked Boulder, which only held a single round pebble.
Yes.
Yo. You think Boulder is friends with Rocky McMineral?
Possibly. But Boulder is the name of Maud's pet.
Oh, she actually has a pet rock?
Yep.
Yo!
His name is
That
Boulder.
makes a lot of sense.
Adagio had to stop for a moment to stare at the last one. With a shake of her head and a roll of her eyes, she moved on.
Humans.
She crept through the kitchen, across the living room, and down the hall to Pinkie's room. She stopped to peek her head in. When she was sure everyone was asleep, she slipped inside. Stepping over Sunset and Fluttershy and Rarity, who was now drooling. Adagio made her way to Pinkie's bed and gazed at her slumbering target with soft eyes. Pinkie held her stuffed alligator tight, murmuring dreamt-up words into its fabric. Adagio took a breath.
Showtime. Pinkamina,
she said, grabbing Pinkie and shaking her.
Wake up, we need to talk.
Pinkie grunted and batted Adagio away. When it became clear she wasn't about to retreat, however, Pinkie's eyes fluttered open. She cast a bleary-eyed glare at Adagio, then went completely stiff.
San,
Pinkie blabbered. Her entire body trembled.
Santa?
Adagio waved.
Ho, 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 cutie.
Pinkie gasped hard enough that Adagio felt her beard being sucked in. Then, in a thunderous shout,
Oh my freaking gosh, you're Santa!
her yelp ground to a halt as Adagio slapped a hand over her mouth.
Oh, this is so good.
Quiet.
Adagio said, looking at the girls on the floor.
You're going to wake the others up. I want to keep this between you and me.
When Adagio removed her hand, Pinkie bit her lip and tugged at her hair, as if she would explode at any moment. She managed a nod, then squeaked out,
Santa, what are you doing here? It's not hearthwarming for another week.
Pinkie looked Adagio up and down.
And why are you naked?
Half naked.
Adagio said, tugging down her skirt a bit.
Uh-huh.
Pinkie's gaze locked on Adagio's chest.
And if you're a boy, then why do you have...
Hey, come on. Pinkie could be a bit more progressive.
Yeah, Pinkie, what the hell?
Freaking body shaming Santa.
We should cancel Pinkie.
Cancel Pinkie. Worse than Adagio. This is worse than when she wanted to ask Santa to enslave the human race.
Definitely. The soda companies and the toy stores have all got it wrong.
Adagio said. She puffed out her chest and cast Pinkie a heady stare.
I am 100% female, my dear.
Yo, imagine though, that could be true. Santa was a girl all along.
Yo, what the fuck, man? This totally stole my idea. What the shit? I'm gonna have to tell you about that later on.
Oh no.
Because I really like that idea. It's fun.
Yeah.
She paused, then stroked her beard.
And before you ask, this is real. Women can have beards. It's a thing. Look it up.
Like it's like, oh yeah, the beard. Women can have beards, but the boobs are what give it away. There's no men with boobs.
Not enough.
Very true. Normalize man boobs.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I know. Grady Pie has a beard.
Pinkie said.
But don't you have a wife? Mrs. Santa Hooves?
Yeah, that's what really gives it away. There's no way Santa's a lesbian.
Yeah, so?
Adagio asked, snatching Pinkie by her collar.
You got a problem with that? Ow.
Pinkie giggled.
Of course not. I like girls, silly.
Oh yeah.
And that's the only time you'll ever hear Wizzy say that. Because
Very
he's
true.
super sexist.
So sexist to the point of homosexuality.
Oh, yeah. Only true men are gay. The alpha males of this world.
The wind left Adagio's lungs. With a gulp, she let go of Pinkie's shirt and nodded.
Right.
She took a second to shake off her stupor before screwing up her face and saying,
Now, are you just going to ask questions, or what?
I'm sorry, Santa. I'm just so excited. I want to know everything.
Pinkie leaned into Adagio.
Do your reindeer really pee rainbows? How much do you pay your elves? Are they unionized? What's your favorite snack? It's cupcakes, right? Everyone says it's cookies, but I know I'm right.
Calm yourself.
Adagio said, grabbing Pinkie's shoulders.
I'm not here for an interview. I'm here to thank you.
Pinkie stopped vibrating and tilted her head.
Thank me? For what?
For believing in me, of course.
Adagio smiled.
I've seen the way you talk about me to your friends. You're too kind, really.
Pinkie managed a half-hearted grin.
Yup,
She muttered.
I believe, but sometimes it seems like I'm the only one.
Adagio crossed her arms.
Does that matter?
Well, yeah.
Pinkie said.
When I'm the only one who believes in you, it gets super lonely sometimes. Whenever I go to mail my letter to you at the mall, everyone always laughs at me. There goes Pinkie, acting like a baby. I can't even talk about you without people thinking I'm stupid.
Well, screw them.
Very true. Let Pinkie do what she wants.
Let Pinkie fuck.
Let Pinkie have sex with Adagio. In the Santa suit.
Hissed Adagio, blood suddenly boiling. Pinkie recoiled.
Huh?
Adagio blinked, shaking her head. She said,
What I mean is, you don't have to listen to those people. All they're trying to do is bring you down. You're above them, Pinkie. You're superior.
But what about them not believing in you?
Pinkie asked.
How can they think you don't exist?
Some people just don't believe in things they can't see.
Adagio said with a shrug.
It's just how humans are. But here's the thing. Sometimes things can be real without making any sense. I mean, look at that awful magic of yours. Your ears violate the laws of physics. So don't worry if your friends don't believe. What's important is that you do.
Amen.
This has just gotten from sort of a iffy, sort of anything possibly accent to definitely just Russian and not sexy at all.
It's a sexy Russian accent.
No, it was a sexy Russian accent.
I thought originally you were going for like an Edna mode.
No. I was originally going for, I was trying to do French, and then I realized, halfway through, I screwed that up immediately. So I wasn't able to do my French accent. Whatever that is, can't even remember it.
I feel like the words it was giving you was like a lot of the darling and stuff. It was working really well.
Yeah, I thought it worked out.
Pinkie nodded.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Wait, what did you call my magic?
Nothing.
Adagio said. She laid a hand on Pinkie's.
You've believed in me for so long, don't give up now.
Pinkie grabbed Adagio's hand.
I'm trying my best, Santa.
Her chin quivered.
But it's really hard.
Adagio opened her mouth to respond, but stopped short. Something tugged at her bones. Something sinister. Something despicable. Something disgusting. She cursed the alcohol flowing through her veins. Adagio leaned forward and hugged Pinkie. She rested her chin on Pinkie's shoulder.
I know it's hard, but sometimes the bravest thing of all is faith.
Adagio felt Pinkie tremble beneath her and held her tighter.
Stay strong, Pinkamina. This world needs more humans like you.
Pinkie buried her face into Adagio's hair and made a few small squeaking sounds. The two of them sat like that for a few minutes, with no sound but their own shaky breathing. Adagio felt a comfortable warmth wrap around her, and with it, that constant scent of cake frosting. When Pinkie finally pulled away, Adagio found herself wishing that they could have stayed like that for hours, joined together against the cold. She pushed the thought away.
Thank you, Santa.
Pinkie sniffled.
I needed that.
Adagio stood up and bowed.
It was my pleasure, dear. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to the North Pole. I've been gone for a few hours, and Mrs. Hooves tends to get very angry when I sneak out without telling her.
Adagio turned to the side and hiked up her skirt a bit.
Just can't get enough of this.
Oh, goodness.
Cheeks going red, Pinkie giggled. Adagio basked in her laughter for a second, then tiptoed back to the door. At the doorway, however, she stopped and cast one glance back at Pinkie.
And by the way,
Adagio said, gripping the door handle.
thanks for being kind to that Adagio girl. She's trying her best too, you know, really.
Pinkie yawned and rubbed an eye.
I know. Adagio is a real sweetie. Even if maybe she still wants to destroy the human race.
Ha ha.
Adagio chuckled.
I'm sure even if she does, she would be happy to spare your life.
I hope so.
Pinkie laid down and closed her eyes.
I hope so.
Adagio waited until Pinkie's breath calmed, then left the room. Her entire body felt hot, despite the frigid air. She looked into a mirror on the wall and found her cheeks flushed. She took a hard swallow and kept walking.
Must be sick.
She headed back the way she came, down the hall, through the living room, across the kitchen, She made sure to stop and pick up a bottle from the wine rack when she passed.
And do you know what she saw inside that wine bottle? A note. And do you know what that note said? Dear
What did the note
Adagio,
say?
you've been a very good boy this year. Thanks for all your help. Love, Santa.
Oh my god.
I had to get it in somewhere. I couldn't risk it not being there not being a note later on. Thank you, Santa.
She said, resting it on her shoulder as she headed down the stairs to the basement. She hummed a tune and turned a corner. Maud sat 3 feet in front of her, fiddling with the latch on the boulder cage. The two locked eyes, silent. With a stilted laugh, Adagio tugged down her skirt and buttoned her top.
Ho ho ho.
Maud blinked.
I can see that.
That is not Maud.
I thought she was like the boring one, so I was trying to give her a boring voice.
It's more like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going for Squidward.
Dear Squidward. Anyways.
Adagio held her head high and walked past Maud, slapping her on the back as she went.
Just stopping by to examine your decorations. Yes, that's it. Making sure they're up to snuff, yeah?
Just like the Grinch. Same excuse.
Adagio spun around and poked Maud in the chest with the wine bottle.
You wouldn't want me to skip your house, would you?
Adagio, you broke down our back door. You let a raccoon in.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Adagio groaned and tore off her fake beard.
Okay, look. I'll pay for a new door, an exterminator, whatever you need. Just don't tell Pickelman that was me, okay?
All right,
Maud crossed her arms.
but you owe me a favor.
Oh.
Adagio groaned again, grumbling. She reached up and began to unbutton her shirt.
No!
Maud said, eyes going the least bit wider.
Not that, please.
What then?
I have to decide. I'll let you know when I do.
Maud said. She walked back to the staircase, then cast a small smile back at Adagio.
Good night, Santa Hooves.
Adagio scowled. With a sneeze,
That's
she hurried out of the basement and out of the backyard, headed to where she hid her regular clothes.
Wait a minute. Did Maud just call her a hoe?
Oh!
Damn. Go Maud.
Jingle, 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 jingle.
Woo.
The next morning, Adagio trudged down the hall to the kitchen, sniffling all the way.
Sniffling all the way.
Mucus poured from her nose, and her head pounded with the force of a bongo drum. Her hair hung in streaks over her face. So much for looking sexy. Not even her lingerie could save this wreck of a siren. When she entered the kitchen, Sunset, Rarity, and Fluttershy all called a greeting to her.
No, what happened to you?
Sunset asked.
What, did you jump out of the window or something while we were asleep?
Adagio poured herself a liberal dose of orange juice.
Yes.
As the others laughed, Pinkie Pie sped by on a pair of roller skates and laid a steaming plate of pancakes in front of Adagio. The topmost cake wore a smiley face, with 2 pats of butter for the eyes and a string of chocolate chips for the mouth.
Good morning,
Pinkie said, stopping at the head of the table.
Hope you like your pancakes, Daddy. They were made with happiness and love and loads of high fructose corn syrup. Woo! That's the best kind of corn syrup.
Adagio took a hesitant bite, expecting it to taste like sludge, the same as most human food. And yet, even through her cold, It tasted good. She took another bite, then another, and within a minute she was through her first pancake. Pinkie rolled by and ruffled her hair.
Glad you like it. The pancakes really are delicious,
Fluttershy said. Sunset threw Pinkie a grin.
What's got you so hyped up this morning, Pinks? Why, find where your parents are keeping the presents?
I had the absolute best night ever,
Pinkie said, throwing her hands into the air. She sped over and grabbed Sunset's shoulders.
Santa Hoofs visited me in my room. Can you believe it?
Rarity shook her head.
What? I thought we had this conversation yesterday, Pinkie.
God. So rude.
Damn.
Yeah, I know you don't believe in her, but this is true.
Pinkie said.
She really did visit, just so she could talk to me. She had a big beard and a jolly laugh and the sexiest bod I've ever seen.
Adagio coughed up a pancake.
Are you sure it wasn't a dream?
Fluttershy asked. Pinkie gave a vigorous nod.
I'm sure.
As they were off to do, the three exchanged a glance. Then all offered Pinkie a smile.
Whatever you say, Pinkie. Yeah, I guess it's just whatever you say.
For some reason, I also auto-completed with Pinkie in my mind.
Huh. Maybe it's because of that Pinkie up there.
Yeah, probably.
Sunset said, returning to her meal. Any semblance of amusement on Pinkie's face disappeared. She pouted and slumped into a seat, eyes falling to the floor, quiet. Across from her, Adagio mouthed a prayer, and before Adagio could finish, the grin returned to Pinkie's face. She laughed and skated back over to her friends.
It's okay that you don't believe me.
She said, hugging each one individually.
I love you anyway.
We love you too, Pinkie. We love you too. I did it again. What the fuck?
Rarity said, returning the gesture. She smirked.
Isn't that right, Adagio?
Adagio snorted and prepared a snarky retort. But when Pinkie came around and hugged her, she just looked down.
Whatever.
The group called another greeting as Maud walked in, carrying Boulder in her hand. She laid him down on the table and sat down. Pinkie handed her a plate, and she set to work.
Ooh, you're in a good mood today,
Pinkie said, watching Maud eat.
What's up? Did Santa visit you too?
Adagio tensed up, until Maud shook her head and said, No. She grabbed Adagio's shoulder. But your friend promised that she would help out at next month's activity fair. The Geology Club needs someone to wear the quartzite costume. Adagio slammed her fork on the table.
I agree to no such.
Maud tightened her grip on Adagio's shoulder, biting down the curses flying up her throat. Adagio forced a grin.
I mean, of course I did. How could I have forgotten? For real?
Sunset gave a slow clap.
That's awesome, Adagio. Maybe soon we can pour out the friendship spray for good.
I wonder what's in that friendship spray.
Water.
Adagio slumped in her seat.
Woo.
Pinkie kissed Adagio on the cheek.
Woo.
Adagio shot straight. With a slack jaw, she gazed up at Pinkie.
You're off the naughty list for sure,
Pinkie said. She skated away. For a moment, Adagio just sat, petrified. Then, heart booming, she went back to eating. A part of her begged to make some comment about how disgusting human kisses were, but it was a bit hard to speak with that big, goofy smile on her face. Author's note. If you enjoyed this story, you may also enjoy this blog post by the lovely Quill Scratch. It breaks down various parts of the story and puts them through some very intriguing analysis. The end.
Well, too bad about that. We're not gonna be reading that blog post because we've got our own analysis.
Very true.
Ah,
I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention the entire time. I can't really analyze it.
well, I can. I can analyze it for both of us. Thank you very much. So this story, surprisingly adorable. Like,
Right?
it's not uber adorable or anything, but like, it's a lot cuter than I expected.
Yeah, it's a lot less vulgar than I was expecting from the title and the description.
It was about just as vulgar as I expected, but man, it knew when to get both cute and heartwarming.
Yeah. I'm surprised. This one's like a little more heartwarming than the last one. And this one was supposed to be the comedy fic.
Yeah. I mean, comedies can be heartwarming.
Yeah. I think a big part with this was we really didn't get to see the Cutie Mark Crusaders in the last one.
That's true.
But with this one, they did a good job of like showing Pinkie throughout this and how sad she was.
Which, speaking of the last one, guys, guess who freaking pre-read and edited this story? Apparently. Ouroboros from the last one.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What the heck?
And guess what? Another thing. Y'all remember Sunset Shimmer tries to kill Santa Claus? The author of that, this was present, I guess, for that author. Wild
Oh my
stuff.
God.
Like, completely on accident. The next story we read will have nothing to do with any of the other stories. That was just very amusingly just a big old coincidence. Our own little cinematic universe here.
And, Not a Hat, they pre-read this. So thanks to them.
Yeah, thanks to them too. And Fohen and Pesquate. But anyways, yeah. Good stuff. Could have used more fucking, but I guess, we didn't need it.
I think it did just fine without it.
Yeah, surprisingly, when the story started off, Adachi was a total asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I, as a person, hated her. Although I was definitely enjoying it because I like that sort of... In comedies, I like that sort of wacky villain who is trying to be good but also isn't capable of being good. So that I really enjoyed. But yeah, it did surprisingly get me to care for her. And I hope that things work out between her and Pinkie and that she realizes the true meaning of Christmas.
Yeah, I really like how sweet this ending was. But I was kind of thinking it might go in the direction of like Adagio is really still evil and is just going to break Pinkie's heart at the end of that whole thing.
I mean, we don't know.
So I think that would be like a comedic twist.
She might have a relapse.
Yep. But this was wonderful. Really good for the holiday season.
Magical stuff. Thank you so much, Dub guy. Dub's rewatcher. Loved it. Next time, though. Well. Yeah.
Do you tell them to go into the description?
God damn it!
Later.
Record.
That's our best one yet.
This is good.